All right. Good evening, my YouTube family. Good evening. It is Thursday, January the 11th. It is 2 days after the election. And I know everybody's been like, where's Tamara? Where's Tamara? Where's Tamara? I'm right here, y'all. So on Tuesday, John Ossoff and the Reverend Raphael Warnock won the United States Senate. Yes. So I guess, I'm not sure how I am supposed to feel, but I have been watching, others feel the way they feel respectfully. Um, my feeling is that we're just going to wait and see, because going to Washington, Reverend Raphael Warnock, without a specific Black agenda, without a plan for reparations, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be happy about that, because I'm not. I'm not. So, like I said, respectfully, for the last couple of days, Wednesday and today, I have tried to stay away from social media, to give everybody an opportunity to celebrate the win and the victory. But for me, victory and a win is policy specific to reparations. That will be a win for me. So I steered away from social media. Robert said that was a mess. You know, I'm gonna let everybody have their moment. You know, you know, they can have their moment. They can be excited. Their candidate won, which, those of us that are very politically astute understand that these were candidates on both sides of the aisle, Democrat and Republican, that were pushed on us. The money won. Money won in these. It was about who, which one of these power players could win this election. So it really wasn't about what we wanted as the people. For me to have interviewed David and I and Robbie on our Saturday broadcast, for us to have interviewed, believe like 6, 7 candidates from the race that had never been contacted by either party, said a lot. So it wasn't about us. It wasn't about our agendas. It wasn't about, what we wanted as candidates in this race. It wasn't about a collaborative effort. It was about these heavy hitters with a whole lot of money, quote unquote. Yes, they had the money. It was about them battling it out. And we were just, so I'm not sure how I'm supposed to feel. Like I said, I'm gonna let everybody have their moment and they can be happy, and I'll just sit back, because a win for me, again, is to have a true Black agenda, a specific Black agenda, and a plan for reparations. And neither of these candidates have produced that to the extent of my satisfaction. So we'll just sit back and wait for these bills to come down the pike, and trust and believe I will be paying attention to everything. Everything. So we got some comments. He says, what happened yesterday with DC was a mess. I personally don't see how any good can come from Warnock and Ossoff, and the progressives are fractured beyond belief. That's a good point. It honestly does not look like any way forward. Well, you know what? I feel I am I want to see forward. I want to look forward, and I want us to move forward, and I want us to put the pressure on. That's what I want us to do. I want us to put the pressure on. We have delivered the White House. They got their Senate, their House, the House of Representatives. They have that, and now many Georgians, they delivered the Senate. I have very high expectations of the Democratic Party, very high. There's nothing they can't tell me they cannot do. And this is where we put the pressure on, and this is where it is so imperative that the leadership, the leaders around our various movements really, really now focus on organizing. Because if we're going to get reparations, it's going to take leaders to make sure that those of us who are following their lead are leading us towards reparations and figuring out how to work with other leaders to get us to reparations. No more fighting. I talked about that last week. I'm not going to even go there this week, but we have to be real clear about what we want moving into this Congress now that is all Democratic and this presidency that's Democratic. We should be able to get whatever the hell we want. And I'm not going to accept anything less. So I'm hopeful that all of our leaders are really intentional right now about getting organized. And that's why I started Withhold the Vote, because when they don't do what we expect them to do, we got to have a weapon, y'all. And the weapon is our vote, because I told you the power that we have as a people is either the money in our pocket or these votes. We don't have enough money to influence these elections. It's obvious. It was what, $470 million, the most expensive congressional U.S. Senate race in the history of this country was just ran right here in Georgia. John Ossoff did that damn thing twice. He ran the most expensive congressional race when he ran for the 6th congressional district. No money had ever been spent to the extent that it was spent on his race in that 6th congressional district. Came back and did it twice, y'all, right now with the U.S. Senate. We can't compete with the money. But when I tell you we can compete with organizing and with these votes, that's our power. And I ain't mad, you know, I'm watching these trumpeters. They got their way. They got their way of doing whatever it is they do. I'm just gonna sit back and we're gonna watch. I've been watching Black Twitter, and they've been following these Trump people. And if you're into the Black Twitter, just go over there. I'm not going to even say a whole lot about it. I just encourage you to go over and look at it. We got to have our way of getting what we want. That's their way. Because that way would get all of us killed. We would have all been dead, and you know it. A whole bunch of Black people sprawled out in front of the Capitol. We would have all been dead. So we can't play that game. That ain't the game we play. So the game we play is how we strategically, tactically, how we organize and utilize this vote. So this man, I'm gonna go to a post that's on my Facebook page. I posted this on December 29th. This was before the election. And it says, I got word that some Black people are mad at me. I got a phone call from South Georgia that Black folks down there was mad at me. How dare I say don't vote for Warnock? What's he all we got? What we gonna do if we don't vote? Nevertheless, my post is, got word that some Black people are mad at me. How dare I tell Black people to think and vote strategically? How dare I challenge the plantation of the Democratic Party? How dare I demand reparations? Black agenda from Raphael Warnock. So that was a post I put out. So people are now kind of peeking their head out to show me, to tell me who was mad at me, because I don't really know specifically. I just kind of have a feeling about some of the people, but one of the posts on the page was, he says, I am not that mad anymore. So I said to him, I said, so you were one of the ones mad at me. So his reply back is, not mad, but disappointed. I supported and voted for you, but it threw me off to hear you suggest not to cast our vote if he didn't add reparations. Reparations is very important to me, and it should definitely be our agenda. My feelings were our ancestors had sacrificed too much for us to think about withholding our vote. That's all, sister, withholding our vote. So my reply to him, I said, you have an emotional attachment to voting. Wasn't trying to be sarcastic, but obviously it's an emotional attachment to voting. And I said, withhold the vote is tactical and strategic, and it demands tangibles in exchange for the vote. That's all it is. You're not going to guilt me. You're not going to shame me into voting. You're not. I know the power of that vote. You say you're going to do something, and that's what I want you to do, then you can have my vote. But I just didn't feel comfortable voting for a candidate with no plan for reparations and no Black agenda. I didn't. And I know others that didn't as well. I hope that we continue to organize leaders, and let's be real clear about this Democratic Congress that we have and this White House, and demand something for those votes that they all got. I'll get off my soapbox. I wasn't feeling like this on Tuesday. I think Tuesday when I came to y'all, I was a little bit I was heavy. I was heavy because it was just like, election day, I ran the race. I ran this race. I know how, it was hard. Tuesday was just hard for me. So my energy was not what it is today. I'm better now that we're beyond this election. We have these candidates that have won. Now it's our time to hold them accountable as best we can, because Warnock never said he was going to do anything specific, but we're going to hold his feet to the fire, still standing in that pulpit of Dr. King. I'm gonna get off my soapbox. But leaders, I actually made some notes because I wanted to come to you. I'm gonna give you some bills in just a second, but I want you to be real clear about our leaders and what leadership should look like. For me, leaders say what they mean and they mean what they say. Let me say that again. They say what they mean and they mean what they say. You don't have to read between the lines. You don't have to guess, and you don't have to speculate. That to me is real leadership. You can't lead me nowhere if you ain't clear and specific. Where are we going? How long it's gonna take us to get there? You can't take me nowhere and I don't know where I'm going. Who gonna be there? You gonna give me all the details? So when you have leadership and you follow them blindly, I ain't. I won't. Ain't happening. So I couldn't get on that Warnock bus. Y'all hoping and praying. That's what Barack gave us. And that's what he gave us. Hope and change. What was his slogan? Put it in the chat, y'all. Hoping and praying and wishing. And I'm a prayer. But you're going to have to give me something more. What they say works, I need you to show me too. I'm going to get off my soapbox, y'all. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's get on to some bills. I just wanted to share with you, these folks still mad at me down in South Georgia, but I'm fighting for reparations. When they get that check, maybe, or if they get this land, or if they get these, what we're owed, the debt that we're owed, they get something for it, maybe then they'll stop being mad at me. But until then, I'm glad y'all are rocking with me, and we're going to keep going. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to talk about some of these bills that were in Congress that we didn't know was out there. We don't have a clue what's going on. So I'm going to share my screen. So Mr. Marco Rubio introduced a bill, y'all. It was passed. Y'all didn't know anything about. Yeah, he says it's change you can believe in. Yeah. I don't know. It didn't benefit us Black people. That change, when he came in and bailed out the banks, and I was a small business owner at the time. I had a salon. I had opened my bigger salon. I had a smaller location. And right before the 2008 crash and things went crazy, I opened a bigger salon. I knew this was going to be my ride. I knew my salon was going to really take off. Then come the housing bubble burst, and Obama comes around and bails out the banks, And to hell with us small business people, because I sure didn't recover well at all. Most people didn't. Took me years to kind of get my bearings from that. So nevertheless, no more hope and change. And that's what you said. Change you can believe in. Okay. So Mr. Marco Rubio introduced a bill, y'all, a commission on the social status of Black men and Boys Act. Who knew? Did y'all know this? This bill establishes the commission on the social status of Black men and boys within the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights Office of the Staff Director to conduct a systematic study of the conditions affecting Black men and boys. Why are they studying us? And why was this passed? And who knew? Let's look at the actions. It became law. Let's see if we can get it to open. Yep. This is the kind of stuff we got to get into and dive into and figure out why. Who, what, when, where, why, how. What is this? We got to dive in. And this is where Withhold the Vote, and those of you that are interested, and we get together and we start really diving in, and let's go in and find out and come back and bring this information back. And let's really organize around this. This became public law, y'all. Why are they studying us? What is this? For who? Why? Marco Rubio, Republican out of Florida. Let's look at another one. The Future Act. Representative Alma Adams, North Carolina. Let's see what she did. This bill permanently authorizes funding for minority serving institutions of higher education and increase the authorization of appropriation for Pell Grants. Y'all, what's going on with student loans and not student loans, Pell Grants? What's going on with these Pell Grants? And we need to find out. These minority, how did they put it here? Minority serving institutions of higher education and increase the authorization of appropriation for Pell Grants. It's some money we need to know about. This is the kind of stuff we need to dive into. Let's look at another one. The Hidden Figures Congressional Gold Medal Act. And I don't take anything from these resolutions, y'all. So when I tell you about these, I'm telling you about these resolutions because we have to do, we want some real policy changes that affect us in our communities and in our lives right here and right now. So I don't take anything from the recognition and, but I just want to show you the Hidden Figures Congressional Gold Medal Act. And we remember, the ladies from the movie Hidden Figures and all that they had done. But this is where the congressional gold medals to Katherine Johnson and Christine Darden. And, what about these ladies, their intellectual property? Let's dive deeper into, we can appreciate the recognition, but what about the intellectual property? These ladies did amazing works that they never got credit for years ago. How do we make that make sense today, where it benefits us as a community? This is why we have to pay attention to policy. We got to know what these people are doing and why they're doing it, and how to make it relevant and beneficial to us today. You didn't do what you needed to do for them back then, but how do you make it benefit us today? Let's take a look at another one. The Emancipation National Historic Trail Study Act. Now, this one I found very interesting. And I found it interesting, HR 434. It says, this bill requires the Emancipation National Historic Trail, which extends approximately 51 miles and follows the migration route taken by newly freed slaves and other persons of African descent from Galveston, Texas to Houston, Texas, to be studied for designation as a National Scenic Trail. Okay, so you're going to Study this and designate it as a national scenic trail. Let's think about that. It's symbolic in nature. And I'm sure the people that live in that area, I'm sure they know this strip of land. Y'all hear the key word there? Land, strip of land. And we need more than just recognition. And we need more than just a study to designate it as a national scenic trail. Give us that damn land. Give us that land. Let us put businesses along that trail, Black businesses along that trail. Let's ask for something with this Emancipation National Historic Trail Study Act. Give us that land. Put Black businesses along that trail. Let's do something where it's relevant right here, right now, today, and will benefit our community. We don't need no more. Like I said, I don't take anything from the recognition, but we need tangibles today. So that land should be not only just designated as a national scenic trail. Anybody in Texas watching this, or reach out to me, because I want us to ask for something while y'all in this study. Y'all are studying this and y'all gonna designate it. We need to ask for something. Your girl, Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, introduced it. Anybody in Texas, reach out to me. This is why we have to pay attention. Let's go to another one. The Negro Leagues Baseball Centennial Commemorative Coin Act. Here's another one. This bill directs the Department of the Treasury to mint and issue up to 50,000 $5 gold coins and 400,000 $1 silver coins. And, they're going to mint these coins, right? And it says that was formed in response to African-American players being banned from baseball major leagues. Can we get something? Not only were we banned, it goes further than just the banning, symbolic gestures. Yes. It goes further than just the banning of us. This is why we have to pay attention. Another one was passed. HR 40. Those of us that are watching reparations and what's going on with HR 40, these 6 essential edits for HR 40. HR 40 has to be reintroduced. We're going to assume that Sheila Jackson Lee will do that, as she has picked up the mantle and she's moving forward with John Conyers is what he's doing. But these edits, no, you're not going to bring back that HR 40 bill from last Congress, from the 116th Congress, the 117th Congress. We want something different in that HR 40 reparations bill, which it may not have the same it may not be 40, but it'll be a reparations bill when she brings it back. But let's see what these edits should look like. So experts only. Commissions should be selected exclusively by Congress, and they need to be experts in constitutional law, economics, political science, sociology, some expertise in the history of slavery, Jim Crow, employment discrimination, wealth inequality. We want some real experts, not your friends, not people who say they are. Some true experts, some economists. Yeah, we want true experts on this study, because that's all HR 40 has been. So when somebody tells, when these candidates were on the campaign trail talking about they support HR 40, yeah, the study, yeah, let's study it. Okay, let's keep moving. No pay for commissioners or their organizations. Some folks was about to get paid off of this study. They was about to get paid. There should be a paid professional staff, while the commissioners Reasonable expenses should be met, but don't try to make this out to be like a this a salary and you're gonna get an honorarium. You're gonna make money off of this. No, any monies needs to be in the bill for our repair and our redress. That is reparations. Eligibility criteria, y'all. I got a little tongue tied. The commission should be directed to set as eligibility recipients Black American descendants of the United States slavery. These recipients would need to show that they have at least one ancestor who was enslaving in the United States, a lineage standard, and for at least 12 years prior to the enactment of a reparations plan or study commission, whichever comes first, they self-identified as Black, Negro, African American. We don't want nobody saying, I'm Black. No. Did you say you was Black for the last 10, 12 years? Don't try to say you Black now. You got some Black blood. Don't try us. So I appreciate that. 1776 to present window claim. The relevant window for the Black American claim for reparations dates from 1776 to the present, not 1619 as the bill currently reads. Since the claim for redress must be made on the U.S. government, the beginning date for the claim should be associated with the founding of the Republic, not the landing of enslaved persons at Jamestown, Virginia. Let's be real clear. When this bill comes back in this Congress, all of this needs to be done. Effective racial wealth gap redress solution. The commission should be charged with developing a proposal for redress that will eliminate the gulf in Black and white wealth in the United States. While Black Americans constitute 13% of the nation's population, they possess less than 3% of the nation's wealth. A reparations plan should be designated to bring the Black share of wealth at least into alignment with the Black share of the population. Absolutely. An 18-month deadline. Y'all ain't studying us for 25 years. Don't try it. You're not studying us for 5 years. You're not studying us for 10. You're not studying us for 3 years. This says 18 months. That's long enough for you to pull your data together, because that's really all you should be doing. The work has already been done. There's leading economists that have done this work. This work has already been done. And America knows it. So you got 18 months. Don't play. So I'm gonna read a few of the comments from the screen. I'm gonna turn this off. But we are, y'all, going into this 117th Congress, like I say, with the Democratic House, a Democratic Senate, split, and Ms. Vice President-elect Kamala Harris will be the tiebreaker. So there's nothing. So if anything, I'm happy about, there's nothing that they can say that they cannot do. They can't tell us what they can't do. And we don't have to accept no for an answer. So yeah, I'm happy about that. You can't tell us no. Says, I wonder if there has been any effort to recruit these experts in preparation for the new Congress. I wonder too, Kim, have they reached out? Let's hope, when Sheila Jackson Lee pre-files actually started on the 5th, which was Tuesday. So next week, when I come back to you, I'm going to bring you some very current legislation that we could start working on, what we can do collectively. Withhold the vote. We can go behind the scenes. I want this to be whatever this needs to be for us to hold these elected officials. They ain't candidates no more. Hold these elected officials accountable to our needs. We gave them these votes. Let's go get let's go get what we are owed for these votes. Because we gave them to you. Now you owe us. You owe us. You owe us. Vicky says, I don't trust him with those tents across the street from his church. Yeah. Yep. Those tents. So if y'all haven't seen this, a tweet that I actually put out, that was a video that was shared with me. And yeah, tents right across the street from the church. When you got a whole sanctuary that could sit and sleep and house. We don't have, right now we're in the midst of a COVID season. I know y'all not having not having services. Why not transition that church into some housing for our unsheltered? Why not? I'm sure you're paying the electric bill and the water bill over there. Why not? Yeah. We're gonna make sure that now that he's on his way to Congress and all of them, they're there, we're gonna get what we need. So I'm only gonna do this for 30 minutes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, y'all. Join me. I'll be back next Tuesday, same time, right here on YouTube. Next Thursday, same time, right here on YouTube. But you can find me and David and Robbie at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern on Saturday, right here on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. We'll be back. So thank you guys. Love you, and see you on Saturday and next week, Tuesday, with current legislation that we can start working on. Go to the website, withholdthevote.org. Become a Patreon, y'all. This data ain't cheap. It ain't cheap. So let's do the work. Let's organize. Please contact me. Reach out to me if there's anything that we can do, and let's get behind the scenes. Let's start diving and digging into this stuff. Let's do the work. I'm a worker. So let's do the work. Anybody interested? I am ready to rock and roll. This is our time. Have a good night, everybody.